Hi everybody, it's Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art, and I've been playing with my Heartfelt Creations again. So these are from the Romantique Garden collection, and this is my journal that I showed you in my last video on the swan cards and tags, if you want to go back and see what the journal has to do with anything. And what I've done is actually used the die cuts that go with this collection. So I wanted to see what the heart shape and the bleeding hearts little floret die cuts would be like. I didn't use expensive cardstock. I just took some plain green, and again, it's just for my journal, and I couldn't help myself. I had to stick a couple of my colored swans in there. I've been working on a couple of cards, and I'm going to show you the cards and a little bit of technique on what you can do with the bleeding heart flowers that come with the die as well. I've also been playing around with the stamps and coloring. So a little tip for this week might be that when I get the chance to sit down with my stamps, I stamp up a few samples of everything so that I can go back to them and use them when I need to. And when I'm sitting around watching TV for a few minutes, I can do a little coloring. So I've stamped this up, and it's on the opposite side just because of the way I may want to cut it out, either with a die cut or I might want to make a card. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, so when I first stamp them, I stamp them in a configuration that I think would be the most useful, so that when I need to make a card, I can come back and cut it out and hopefully have enough space on the white background or whatever I'm stamping on to make the shape I want. I also like to play around just to see what other techniques and things I can come up with, and I love the idea of black and white. So I wanted to see what would happen if I used these with acrylics or acrylic paint rather than ink. And working with acrylic paint is okay, it's much more difficult than ink. You have to really work hard at getting just enough ink. I used a makeup sponge. I dab the sponge in the white acrylic paint on a paper plate, make sure that it's all smooth, and then I try to slightly tap and move to the side when I go around the stamp. And I still am missing a whole leaf, but not a total disaster, because I do think that I'll be able to use this on a project even though it's not perfect. So it's kind of neat to try these with acrylic paints. Of course, make sure, no matter what you're using, that you wash up your stamp when you're done. I've cut some of the bleeding heart vines out with a little of the paper from the collection, and I chose to use the green with white script running through it. And I've done one of each side so that I can use them as a heart if I want to. So I've cut out a few of those. I've also cut out some of my bleeding hearts that I've already colored. I showed that in the last video, I think, as well. And now I'm just going to shape them. You simply take a piece of foam. Of course, you can buy kits to do this yourself, or you can just, if you don't have the option, you can just get some foam from the local store, wherever you do your shopping from. One of your tools to create some shape in your flower petals with. And if you don't have any of these tools, because I'm really big on find a way without spending a lot more money, then I would just say the back of a paintbrush would do alright. Just be careful not to cut through. So all you do to shape these, you simply press, and I think I'll use this size, simply press on the edges a little bit, swirling gently, and you can see the paper curling up. I'll do that again. Again, you just need some thick foam. Again, you just need some thick foam, and with a little bit of pressure, do your swirls. And it gives some dimension to your bleeding heart flowers. Alright, so I'm going to go decorate those up with a little bit of glitter and show you what I did with those. First, I used some of the darker papers, and I actually used one of the card cutouts that are ready to go with this sweet little hummingbird and some of this lovely ornate paper in the 6x6s. And then I, although it's quite dark with the green, placed the branches here and some of the bleeding hearts, which have been puffed up. And I also made, to go with this, a little box. So that would be sweet. Neither of these cards have any sentiments on them yet, because I'm not sure if I'll use them for Valentine's Day or put them in my Etsy shop. And if anybody's confused, yes, I have an Etsy shop where I have handmade items, and I'm using the Zibbet shop for all of the Heartfelt Creations supplies right now. And I'm just trying out both stores. I'm brand new at this selling thing. I like to make things and create things. Selling? We'll see. Okay, I wanted to do a lighter version, and again, I would say this is incomplete because I'm in need of some kind of a sentiment, but unsure whether or not this will be for Valentine's Day. I have left it to finish later. So in this case I did matte, and in the corner I used another Heartfelt Creations die, which I do not currently have in my store, but if anybody is interested in the floral corners die, if you email me at huckleberryherbsandart7@gmail.com, huckleberryherbsandart7@gmail.com, and let me know that you would like me to put that in my shop, then I'll order it and place a couple of them in there. And then I used a die cut to create this oval, which had some places to weave some little ribbon through. And there's my stamp that I colored in, which I glittered on the corners, upper right hand corners of all the bleeding hearts. And I didn't cover it with the puffed version, just a few of them. I think some of my glue's not even dry yet. Just a few of them are puffed up, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And that way you don't have to use, if you're making multiple cards, every one of the ones that you've hand colored and die cut and gone to the trouble of shaping. Just a few of them, 3 on this one, give the indication of 3-dimensional and make it look like some of the flowers are in the background, which is actually nice. Okay, and then behind this cut I've used some of the lighter colors of the Romantique Garden Collection papers, and I've put some pearls on the corners and a little bling right in the center, and there you go. A lighter, more feminine card for Valentine's Day or a sweetheart or a birthday, and then a darker, possibly more masculine. I might even give this to my husband, put a little Happy Valentine's embellishments and things down there, a little treat in the box for him. I'm sure he wouldn't complain. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want any of the items such as the die cut for the leaves and the bleeding hearts, and don't forget that also comes with the swans. It's quite a very useful die cut set from Romantique Garden Collection. And then if you are interested in any of the papers from the Romantique Garden Collection or the stamps, please visit my Zibbet shop, which, by the way, keep an eye on it, ladies, because like I said, I'm brand new to this. So I have slightly adjusted my prices because I'm doing my research and checking out what's going on in the market. And please understand that shipping is a nightmare, which I think all of you know. And gentlemen too, by the way. I think all of you know that shipping is a bit of an issue. So if you do order one of the papers, they're very hard to ship. I have to put it in that bigger flat rate shipping box. But you're not going to pay for extra shipping for all the items that you would put in. After that, it would be one-time amount. And I'm refunding any overages on PayPal. So if it adds up to more when I actually put everything in the box, it'll probably come to that, what is it, $12.65, $11.65, the flat rate shipping price that's listed on the Zibbet shop. I can fit stamps and dies and a couple of pads of paper into one of those boxes, so you're only going to pay the one-time flat rate shipping. Sorry for the confusion. Trust me, I'm confused as well as far as the shipping goes. Please visit my Zibbet shop if you're interested in any of these, and I'll be uploading onto that shop the Sweet Lullaby collection too, because I have 4 ladies in work who are going to have babies, and boy, I needed all those. So I'll be showing you some things from that too. Right now, I just wanted to make sure I got a chance before Valentine's Day came and went to show you some of the ideas that come from the Romantique Garden collection. I hope you enjoyed this. Till next time, everybody. This is Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art. God bless.